You probably heard the saying that pain is unavoidable, suffering is optional. We're all going to have pain. We're all going to have hurts. But sitting with that and suffering in it is really our decision. I'm not talking about physical pain. Sometimes we're going to just suffer with physical pain and we can't help that. But when it comes to mental pain, capital M-E, sometimes we're holding on to that. And two ways that I see this is with time travel suffering. Time travel suffering. And we all tend to do this in some ways, but if we can stay more in the present and let things go, we'll have a lot less suffering. In fact, I was raised with if we don't have to suffer, let's not. That was a big teaching of my mom, that most suffering was absolutely avoidable. And she didn't like us holding on to things, messing with them, taking them with us constantly to show how we'd been hurt or pained. It just wasn't our life. We just weren't those people. And really, honestly, we weren't permitted that way. Now, there's probably some psychologists that say that, well, that's unhealthy not to be able to let go of that. Well, that was what we did. We did let go of it. We weren't trying to store it up and deal with it in an unhealthy way. So a couple of things, just super quick. Number one is we suffer a lot from the past. So I call these memory myths. And this means that we're going to go back and retrieve things from the past, something harmful or hurtful. And some of us don't even have to retrieve it because we're carrying it with us all the time. Some people travel so heavy holding on to their past. Hey, I want to show you what somebody did to me. Hey, let me tell you about that time that this person did to me. And it's such a challenge, at least to me. Now, I will admit that I tend to live in the future. I don't live in the past. In fact, the way that I think about it is that I don't relive the past. I review the past. If something's extremely positive, I might go back and relive that, but I don't the negatives. I've just not found that that's serving a purpose. And so think about your conversations. Are you constantly bringing up things from the past? I said this in the newsletter about the balm. Review the event or thought with the focus of love and growth. So let's say somebody said something 5 years ago, hurt your feelings so much, or somebody cheated you out of something years ago and you can't get past it, or you had a divorce and it was so ugly and your ex is the worst on the planet. Review the event with love and growth in mind, but don't relive it. Don't replay it with the emotion unless the emotion is joy and peace. Write down 3 ways you're grateful for that hurt and feel love toward the situation person. And I know that's not easy. It sounds easy when I said it out loud, but instead of thinking all these negatives about that person, what are some positives that came out of that? For example, I did not grow up with my biological dad. And there was a lot of reasons behind that. And he actually was gone before I was physically born. Now, I don't look back and just constantly go, oh, I wish I had my dad. I wish I had my dad. I wish I had my dad. I do realize that there were some very positive things that came out by being raised by a single mom. I'm not looking at what I lacked, but I'm only looking at what I gained. So look through that lens of love and growth and begin to review that hurt and see how you can grow from that hurt. So we can really get caught in the past, live in the past, and constantly bring that up. And challenge yourself if you notice a pattern. Every time that you're having this recurring thought, make sure that you journal that. And if you find yourself telling the same story over and over and over again, not just to yourself, but out loud to other people, and it's negative, it's something you need to focus on and work on. Secondly, we might go into the future. So future fantasies. So suffering can also arrive when something is happening in our life right now and we worry about it. We're concerned about what's going to occur. We can create hundreds of suffering scenarios. Our mind's meaning, we create meaning out of this. What if I don't get this raise? What if so-and-so who went behind my back ends up getting that promotion? So-and-so in our family is thinking about doing X, Y, and Z, and what if this terrible outcome happens? But our minds can just create all these false narratives. So the balm is to be present, and even write down, my mind is consumed with blank. It's the scenario or the person. My mind is consumed with blank. I'm causing myself to suffer because I'm causing myself to suffer because I am believing in this negative outcome. I'm inventing this meaning that actually doesn't exist. I believe that so-and-so is going to get hurt in the process. I believe that I'm getting stabbed in the back. Write these things down. And so after you write all of those down, look back over the list you've made, and which one of those do you know to be 100% true? That it was not invented. There's actual evidence that those things can happen. If you were to have to go into court and provide evidence for those future statements, would you be convicted of perjury? Would you be told this all just make-believe? Or would there be enough evidence to say, you know what, that's probably going to be the outcome? 99 times out of 100, it's not going to be the outcome. But we are giving meaning to all of this, and we keep inventing all of these false scenarios and false truths. So when it comes to suffering, most of it, especially mentally, is avoidable. We've got to watch ourselves and see how much of these myths, these memory myths we're creating, and these future fantasies that we're creating. Review the past, don't relive it. Look to the future with a positive mindset, healthy view of life, positive view of life. If you're going to make a list of negatives, I would say make another list of positives that 10x the negatives. Our minds love to invent the negative to protect us. Focus on the positive to protect yourself as well from all this avoidable suffering. Be blessed.